Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We welcome you this morning to celebrate Shabbat with us, all of our guests, those of our regulars, those that are drop-ins. We hope you will join us. You're all sitting so far back. We are probably going to be few in number, but please raise your voices and be part of our congregation. This is not a concert. This is a congregation. We begin our service by thanking God for returning our souls to us. In tradition, it's almost as if in the evening we send our souls to the dry cleaners for purification. In the morning, we pick them up and we shake them out, and they are ours again to make the most of in each and every day. We welcome Shabbat, the seventh day of the week, a time in a holy time versus a holy place. Modani, page 186. Around us, we observe our environment. We see the beauty of this place, both inside and out. And as our forefathers looked around and said, "How beautiful is this place," so we too acknowledge our surroundings that create us a sanctuary. With Matovu, page 192. blessings that we say will be taking account for our bodies and our souls. The first being our bodies, because we know that if any of us were stuffy or had a sore throat, it's hard to pray with sincerity. And so it's hard. So if one of our openings were not to open and one of our closings were not to close, it would be hard for us to stand before God and pray. And so we read together in the middle of page 194 in the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. Elohai Neshama, page 196.
Elohai Neshama.
Baruch atah Adonai, asher beyado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basar ish. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. We continue on page 198 with our Nisim B'chol Yom, our daily miracles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai,
are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Amen.
Now, Adonai, our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you, by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Page 212.
Baruch Shema v'hayalam, Baruch Oseh Bereshit, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Omer v'oseh, Baruch Oseh u'mekayem, Baruch Shemo, Baruch merchem al haaretz, Baruch merchem al habriut, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Mishalem Zachar Tov Lireyav, Baruch Hala'ad V'Kayam Lanetzach, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Podeh Umatzil, Baruch Shemo.
Baruch atah Adonai, melech muhulal batishbachot. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign, who is glorified through praise. Page 214, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, a song for Shabbat.
Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat, 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 Mizmor Shir
Happy are those who dwell in your house, they forever praise you. Happy the people who have it so. Happy the people whose God is Adonai. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, page 215. Aromim Cheloi HaMelech, V'aracha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed.
בכל יום אברכך, והעלה שמך לעולם ועד. גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר. דור לדור ישפוך מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו. הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלאותיך אשיך. וזוז נורתך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה. זכר רבתך יביאו, וצדקתך יראינו. חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד. טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו. יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך. כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו. להודיע לבני אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים. עיני כל לך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם ביתו. פותח את ידיך, ומשביע לכל חי רצון. צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו. קרוב אדוני לכל קורב, לכל אשר יקראו באמת. רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע והושיעם. שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל רשעים משמיד. תהילת אדוני ידברי, ויברך כל בשר שקודשו לעולם, I'm so used to singing the other part. Thank you for
Good
joining us
job,
on that
Gabby.
journey.
Told you it was informal.
Oh,
Page
yeah.
218, the Psalm 150, Hallelujah. And if you don't know the words, Hallelujah, 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 it's not too hard.
And then Kol HaShema.
But Hallelujah will work too, or La La La.
What? There it is. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
read together in the middle of page 219. Let the soul of everything alive bless your name, Adonai our God, and the spirit of all flesh glorify and exalt your name forever, O sovereign. Transcending space and time, you alone are God. We have no sovereign besides you, God of the first and the last, God of all creatures, Master of all generations, who is praised in a multitude of praises, who guides the world with abundant loving kindness, and all creatures with mercy. Adonai neither slumbers nor sleeps. God awakens the sleeping, arouses those who slumber, gives speech to the mute. And God loosens the bonds of captives. God supports the fallen and strengthens those who are bent over. You alone do we acknowledge.
Even if our mouths were full of song as the sea, and our tongues full of joy in countless waves, and our lips full of praise as wide as the sky's expanse, and were our eyes to shine like sun and moon, if our hands were spread out like heaven's eagles, and our feet swift like young deer, we could never thank you adequately, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. To bless your name for a 10,000th of the many myriads of times you granted favors to our ancestors and to us.
We separate the introductory prayers of our service with the main section of our worship with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 224. For the Baruch Hu, page 226. be seated. We read together in the middle of page 229. You are praised who rolls out the rough, raw clay of the universe into delicate vessels of light. And from nothing at all, we could perceive in a world that has turned old, a shimmering new creation right before our eyes, made this moment just for us. How much of life reveals your presence? How much Torah unfolds from each new flower, from each new wave that breaks upon the sea? You are praised, who forms from the clay that cloaks our lives, the delicate vessels which contain our light. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Ahava Rabbah, page 230. Wearing a talit, now is the time to gather the four corners of the tzitzit together in your hand, as if we are bringing together the four corners of the earth, and we read together the indentation at the bottom of page 230. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praised are you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. And as we draw the four corners to our heads, we close our eyes, we think of the oneness of God as we sing together Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם נאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
Still holding the tzitzit in our hands, we read in the middle of page 236, and each time we come to the word tzitzit or fringes, we kiss them to our lips. Adonai said to Moses as follows, "Speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of Adonai and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes in your lustful urge."
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Emet v'yatziv v'ahuv v'chaviv v'nora v'adir v'tov v'yafeh hadavar hazeh aleinu le'olam va'ed. We read in silence to the bottom of page 238. Praise to God Most High. Blessed is God and deserving of praise. In great joy, Moses, Miriam, and Israel responded with song to you, all of them proclaiming, "Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped?" Michamocha, page 240. Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tzevaot, is your name. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We rise for the Tefillah, page 242.
Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Asdei Avot Be'imahot, Umevi Gula Lifnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim v'chesed, Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim, Samech noflim v'rafei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Bichamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom Melech me'mit u'mechayeh u'matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol Nekadesh et shimcha Keshem shemakdishim Tov yishmei makom
Page 260 silently, and you may be seated when you have finished that section. turn to the Torah service, page 362. Please rise.
Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom. We're looking for the blessings? Yeah. Oh, they're in the book too. While they're looking for the Torah blessings, I'd like to say a couple of words about the Torah portion. And this week we'll be reading Vayetze, which talks about Jacob having left hastily and in fear Beersheba after having stolen the birthright of his brother. And he is obviously very afraid. He's, as we know, he's a home buddy, and his brother's an outdoorsman and a hunter, so you can imagine that Jacob was quite afraid that he would be overtaken And in addition, he was just afraid because he's not used to being outdoors and taking a long trek by himself. So he has an amazing experience, has a dream with a ladder, which we're reading about. He envisions a ladder going with angels up and down, and he is assured by God that everything will be fine. And then he goes on and he goes to meet with Laban, and he gets married and spends 20 years there, and we know that part. But what I wanted to address specifically was that after he has this dream, and God reassures him that everything will be fine. So you would think that at that point, having just been assured by God that, don't worry, that he would be confident. But evidently, he was not. Because what's the next thing that he does? He wakes up from the dream, and he makes a bargain with God. And he says, if God will stay with me and protect me, and I'll have enough food to eat, and I'll have clothes to wear, and I'll get back here eventually, and everything will be fine, then this stone that I've just put up as a marker to God will be a house of God, and I'll tithe 10% of all my possessions. So I look at this and I say, is this okay? Can we bargain with God and say, if you do what I want, God, then I'll do what you want? Especially when God already already said everything will be fine. So I just like to throw it out there for a moment. What do you think about the idea of saying to God, I'll do X if you do X? We all do it. We may do it. But is that okay? What do you think? Probably not. Probably not. Anybody think it's okay? Because after all, our patriarch did it. It must be okay. No, we know that our patriarch, a lot of people, a lot of the heroic figures in the Torah didn't do things that were so good. But this particular thing, anybody think that it was okay to say to God, do what I want, and I'll make my 10% donation to tzedakah? Interesting. So you mean if I can identify self-interest, that may help me do what I'm supposed to do? Okay, so we have two viewpoints. One, you should give tzedakah because it's the right thing to do, or you could say maybe because it's a religious obligation. Or you could say, give tzedakah because I'll get something in return. And I see heads being waved no. Okay, so I want to share with you, you all know who Dennis Prager is. So Dennis Prager presented the following hypothetical case to several thousand high school students. Two people with precisely the same wealth are approached by a person they know who is in desperate need of food and money for his family. The first person listens to the man's appeals, expresses great sympathy, and gives the man $5. The second person's in a rush, but feeling obligated to tithe, gives him $100. Which was better, giving $5 from one's heart, or giving $100 because the religion commands you to do so? Routinely, 70 to 90% of the teens answered that the person who gave $5 out of his heart had done the better thing. This response suggests that most people care less about the good that their money is doing than about how they feel giving it. When Prager asked the same students if they would vote the same if they were the needy person, they were taken aback. They had not considered that perspective. Prager explains, Judaism would love you to give 10% of your income each year from your heart. It suspects, however, that in a large majority of cases, were we to wait for people's hearts to prompt them to give a tenth of their money, we would be waiting a very long time. Therefore, Judaism says, give 10%, and if your heart catches up, terrific. In the meantime, good has been done. Rabbi Telushkin, Joseph Telushkin, goes on after reciting this incident to explain that we can expand this practice anytime we need something or want something, even self-confidence. Say you're afraid to fly. You could say to God, God, I'm going to donate some money to X for tzedakah, and if you will protect me on this flight. And that will not only help you feel better in flying, but more importantly, you will have given some money and done some good. So what you said, in conclusion, the Jewish position really agrees with what Susan said. It's okay to say, it's not okay to say, I'll observe Shabbat if you do this for me, God, because that's already an obligation, which we should do regardless. But the reality is that most of us are not eager to give money, and that hurts other people. So the rabbis say, better if the only way to shake loose the money for tzedakah to help other people is if you feel that you're going to get something, okay. In other words, God agrees if you can make the deal sweet enough, and tzedakah is sweet enough. So what Jacob did is okay in the rabbinic view. Okay. Shabbat shalom. So our Torah reading today starts on page 194. And thank you. Any particular order or just? First and second. First and second. First and second. Everybody here is the first? For the first. Are we going to get into one at a time? Got it. Okay. Okay. Yamdu l'aliyah rishona Baruch Laban ben Eli Ufreda Malka bat George, Bruce Meltzer and Ludmila Zirlin.
This is a Shechianu moment for me, because in all the times I've chanted Torah, I've always used a cheat sheet. Not this morning.
Okay.
Well,
it's not a cheat sheet. Just say if God will let you do it correctly, you'll give.
My heart and soul.
Baruch
Hanayim Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Vayed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah
Baruch Shemo.
Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayetze Yaakov miBe'er Sheva, Vayelech Harana, Vayivka Hamakom, Vayalen Sham, Ki Hashemesh, Vayikach me'avnei Hamakom, Vayasem me'roshotav, Vayishkav Hamakom ahu, Vayachalom, V'hinei Sulam mutzav arza, Virosho magia hashamayma, V'hinei malachei Elohim, Olim v'yordim,
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah Emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. So since the Shechianu moment, we should do Shechianu.
Yes, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Are you doing the second one also?
No, I'm not doing the second one. Dr. Filowitz.
Dr. Filowitz. Okay. Yamdu l'Eliyah hashniya, Feivel ben Shlomo v'Chana Bracha bat ben Tzion v'Golda, Felix and Ann Levitz.
So about 20 years ago, I was in Costa Rica. My daughter was having emergency surgery. And I went to the main temple there with my cousins, and I was given an aliyah. But before I could start, there was a deafening silence until I said $100, and everybody exhaled, and we continued. So that goes to what Rabbi Aharon was talking about. Very often, there was a quid pro quo in these kind of things. Sorry. There you go.
Right there.
Right there?
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamoral.
Baruch Adonai Mevarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'hinei Adonai nitzah alav, v'yomar ani Adonai Elohei Avraham avicha ve'elehei Yitzchak haaretz asher ata shochev alecha l'chol etnecha v'elazer zarecha ayah vayacha kafar haaretz v'fartzta yami v'kadevcha v'tzafona v'negeva v'nichrecho echo kol mishpatach adama v'zarecha v'hinei anochi imach v'shmarticha v'chol asher telei v'chashivoticha el hadama hazot ki lo ezercha v'yad asher imashitim et asher divrechli lach.
That's your call.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamdu Lelia Shlishit Moshe Yerachmiel ben Avraham ben Yomio Genesha, Mitchell Goldberg and Burton Silver.
Trade your places.
There.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnato Vayomer Achen Yesh Adonai B'makom Hazeh V'anochi Lo Yadati Vayira Vayamar Manora Hamakom Hazeh Ech Zeh Ki Im Beit Elohim V'zeh Sha'ar Shamayim Vayishkem Yaakov Baboker Vayikach El Ha'even Asher Sam Mera'ashotav Vayaskem Ota Vayasem Ota Matzava Vayitzok Shemen Al Roshah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu
Noten
HaTorah.
Amen. Okay, need some water?
Just got it stuck to there.
Okay, so let's, should I wait till I do the blessings now, or does Rabbi, I can't remember, does Rabbi do it before the, after the maftir? Okay, okay. So the maftir is found on page 205? No, doesn't seem right. Keep going. Here we go. Okay, 213. Let me just find it here. This came along.
Verse 1.
Okay. Okay. Oh, me too. Yamdu harav Aaron ben Mordechai halevi v'tova v'ha'isha haki tova ba'olam. Bracha bat tzvi hakohen menucha.
You have to translate that.
No, I don't.
The best wife in the world, he says.
Okay. L'aliyah maftir.
He called you the best wife in the world. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I have a name.
But you have
You have a name? Yes, Mrs. No. Okay, right here.
Mrs.
Okay.
Really? You're still going.
Baruch hu et Adonai mevorach. Baruch Adonai mevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. It's an interesting question, since do I say amen again because I did the blessing, so I wouldn't say it
Don't
again.
amen your
I wouldn't say it again. Okay. Vayiskem lavan babocher vaynashek levanav veliv notav boy, this is, can you tell if this is a bet instead of a chaf?
I'm not the scribe. Vayivarech.
I think it's
No, I
wow.
know, but I can't distinguish that from, okay.
Just go on.
Vayivarech etchem, vayelech, vayashov lavan limkomo, vayaakov halach lidarko, vayifgeu vo malache Elohim, vayomer Yaakov ka'asher ra'am, machane Elohim ze vayikra shem hamakom hahu machanaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Okay. So now we are going to say the blessings for all those who are called to the Torah. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Tzara Rivcha Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et kol hakroim asher alu hayom lichvod hamakom lichvod haTorah v'lichvod haShabbat. HaKodesh Baruch Hu Yivarech otam ve'et mishpotam ve'et mishpechotam ve'yishlach bracha v'chatzlacha mikol ma'aseh yidehem im kol Yisrael ahechem v'nomar Amen. May He who bless our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless all of those who have come for an aliyah with reverence for God and respect for the Torah and Shabbat. May the Holy One bless them, or us, and their families, and prosper all their deeds together with our fellow Jews everywhere. And let us say Amen. Now we will say a Misha Berach, asking for healing for all those in need. Misha Berach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Tzara Rivcha Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimale Rachamim Alehem Halitzam Urapotam Uchadzitam V'yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuah Shlema Min Hashamayim Refuat HaNefesh Urefuat HaGuf Chashta B'Agala Uvizman Kariv V'nomar Amen. May the one who bless our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those whose names were mentioned. May the Holy One, blessed be He, be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. And while the Torah is out, is there anyone who has recently recovered from serious illness or escaped a sudden possible accident, anything like that, who would like to say a blessing for Thanksgiving? Okay, so we should all say a blessing for Thanksgiving, that there's nobody who feels the need to say a blessing for Thanksgiving. All right. So, do we have a Hagbah? And no. Okay. Okay, please rise as we dress and lift the Torah. Okay, please be seated. Not going to keep holding it. So I have a question. Where does the Bible end? When does the Bible end? Never. Halavai. But, we have the Torah, and then we have the prophets, and we have the writings. So approximately when does the record, the historical record, stop? Any ideas? When they... Well, but okay, not just the Torah, I'm talking about the whole Bible, the Hebrew Bible. Okay, so... Okay, well, the last historical thing that happens is when we return from exile and the temple is rebuilt. Okay. So, and how about the first? So that's in the book of Nevi'im, prophets that we do the Haftarot from, and the beginning of the prophets is about when? Okay, that's about 800-ish. Okay, of BCE. So, leaving Torah aside, we have the period. All the Haftarot that we listen to every week are approximately 500 years, from 800 or so BCE to let's call it 500. Actually, so I'm saying too long of a period. Maybe 350 years. Okay, and what happened during those 350 years that the majority of the Haftarot talk about? War, killing, yeah, but specifically, what happened to us? What happened to the Jews? What happened? Okay, so we think there was evil in the north, You know, I like to think of it as we in Southern California are obeying the law and acting properly, and those people up in San Francisco are having orgies and, you know, rock festivals with drugs, and all those sorts of things are happening up there. And so some of us go up to the San Francisco and stand out in the middle of what are the big square, you know, Union Square, thank you, and say, you know, no, you know, bad things are going to happen because an evil army is starting up in Sacramento, and if you don't behave, they're going to come and wipe you out. And in fact, that happened. So, okay, so today we have another one of the Haftarot in which there is this prophecy that the North is doing terrible things, and if they don't get their act together, they're going to be wiped out, or they're going to be led in chains to Las Vegas or something like that. Okay, so the Haftarah is on page 344. We're going to be reading chapter 14, which is on page 346. Thank you, 346. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hane'emorim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Samaria must bear her guilt, for she has defied her God. They shall fall by the sword. Their infants shall be dashed to death, and their women with child ripped open. Return, O Israel, to the Lord your God, for you have fallen because of your sin. Take words with you and return to the Lord. Say to him, forgive all guilt and accept what is good. Instead of bulls we will pay the offering of our lips. Assyria shall not save us. No more will we ride on steeds, nor ever again will we call our handiwork our God, since you alone orphans find pity. I will hear their affliction. Graciously will I take them back in love, for my anger has turned away from them. I will be to Israel like dew. He shall blossom like the lily. He shall strike root like a Lebanon tree. His boughs shall spread out far. His beauty shall be the olive trees, his fragrance like that of Lebanon. They who sit in his shade shall be revived. They shall bring to life new grain. They shall blossom like the vine. His scent shall be like the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim shall say, what more have I to do with idols? When I respond and look to him, I become like a verdant cypress. Your fruit is provided by me. He who is wise will consider these words. He is prudent will take note of them, for the paths of the Lord are smooth. The righteous can walk on them, while sinners stumble on them.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yoseh המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
We rise for the return of the Torah to the Ark. Page 374. Thank you, Mitch. Gabby's got it.
What page are we on, please? Thank you. We continue with the Aleinu, page 586. May be seated. We call to mind those whose lives on this earth are no longer to be seen, those in the first year of mourning, those whose yortsites occur this week, and they are
Esther Edelman, Barry Goldberg, Bernard Mazur, Ethel Opperman, Larry Pollock, Edward Rose, Gertrude Rosen, Arthur Schmilowitz, Irvin Levin, Joseph Amsterdam, Harry Spiegel, Hector Zaccarino, Michael Hirsch, Benjamin Rivkin, Pauline Spiegel, Zelig Stein, Frida Tabak, William Kleinman, Ethel Mintz, Benjamin Trackman, Murray Cohen, Pauline Cole, Paul Karasik, Esther Robbins, Albert Burglas, Arthur Cohen. And we're in the Sloshim for Rachel Wager Lacrosse, Sherry Mencher, Alan Solomon, Nettie Efron, Ruby Goldberg, Jean Pearl, and Rachel Sipskis. That close enough.
Are there others whose names are to be mentioned or whose names need to be corrected? Sid Jacobs. If you are in the first week of mourning, the Shiva period, please rise. If you are in Shloshim, the first month of mourning, please rise. If you are in the first year of mourning, please rise. If you are observing a yortzeit, the anniversary of a loved one's death, please rise. You may support our mourners. You may think of others whose names are not to be mentioned by anyone, or you may think of them in your hearts. And together we recite the Kaddish on page 598, joining our mourners. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Israel, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar, vitale, vitalal, shemei kudisha, berichu. La'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Huyaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all of Israel, to which we say amen. You may be seated. A couple of upcoming events of interest to us all. A week from Monday, well, tomorrow we have Movie Mavens at 2 o'clock, so if you're interested in seeing a movie of historical value, do you know what it is? Probably that sounds about right. It's a historical value and comedic value, of course. 2 o'clock here at TBT in room 105, I believe. A week from Monday is our monthly men's club meeting, and Rav Aaron Levine is the guest speaker on the topic of That sounds fascinating, but you're not going to let them be forgotten. There you go. And in 3 weeks from this Shabbat, the weekend of December 15th and 16th, we are joining with 2 other congregations, Temple Beth Shalom and Congregation B'nai Tzedek. The 3 rabbis got together, can you imagine that, and applied for a grant, which we received, called Al Hanisim, which is a communal Hanukkah celebration. Friday night services will be at Congregation B'nai Tzedek with latke dinner. Then Saturday morning, the 3 rabbis are going to be here leading services together. We'll have Torah study. We have a guest artist, Alan Goodis, and he will be with our children for B'yachad Shacharit. And then he will be joining us, and we will have lunch together in the social hall. And then in the evening, we will be having a concert and party called Hanukkah. Like Comic-Con. Hanukkah at Temple Beth Shalom. All kinds of wonderful activities and celebration with our neighboring congregations. So plan on spending that Shabbat with us. It should be a lot of fun. And information will be in the scroll and in the upcoming tidbits. I think that's it. Are there any other announcements to be aware of? Rabbi will be back next week, and then he'll be gone another week at the URJ Biennial in Boston. Yes, and then he'll be back for Hanukkah, and then he's got vacation during winter break again. So Gabby and I holding down the fort. Yes, by then your throat will be all better. And so, and Sarah and Al.
No, not me.
Not
I'll be in
Allie.
London.
Yeah. Maybe.
I have an audition in London.
We'll see
I
what.
have an audition in London.
London. She just got back from Scotland, and now she's off to London. And I'm going along in her suitcase. That sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. So we close our service with Adon Olam, page 625. We become one congregation rather than spread out over the four corners of the earth. And then please join us in the social hall for Kiddush and Motzi.
Betty